It's going just here. Yeah.
All lives matter.
All lives matter.
Spring in Canada is kind of fake news if you're having like snow and 35-kilometer-an-hour winds on May 9th. Just goes to show you. Anyways, so it's about 1:35 p.m. right now.
What is that? And then you so
On May 9th?
says, oh, I have a good conversation with Bill Gates, so we can figure out how to move forward. You know how you move forward? You kill the contract. Do not work with Bill Gates. He's a criminal. Bill Gates is a criminal. He must be charged for crimes against humanity.
Oh yeah, and here's my sign. See, it's windy now. There it is. Whoa, it's gonna blow away. The media are a disgrace. And lockdown will cost more lives. So not very creative, but you know, you gotta keep it simple. Simple and straightforward.
And I'm gonna listen to his advice. I'm gonna take it seriously. Are you kidding me?
So it's wrapping up. It's after 2:30 now. So yeah, a lot of people have gone home, but not as many people as last week. We had about over 200, I'd say, maybe up to 250 near the peak. So that was still good. But you know, with the weather and who knows what's going on. So Canadians are fickle. What can you say? God have mercy on us all. I pray for Canada not to fall, because the media lies right in front of our eyes. The CBC should cease to be. The Globe and Mail is old and stale. CP24 is a festering sore. They should be shown the door. The National Post could give up the ghost. The Toronto Star has gone too far. Corrupt bodies, they all are. If it was 1917, they'd light a cigar. They would cheer the abdication of the Russian Tsar. They'll have blood on their hands for their globalist plans. Canada sleeps under Trudeau. It gives me the creeps how low we'll go. Don't buy into the fear, if anything to bring back some cheer. Degenerate culture reigns. Hollywood wrecks our brains. Go outside, it's a beautiful day. Life has risks anyway. The virus is 85% delusion. Some truth, yes, but mostly confusion. The death count is largely misattribution. While in the CDC's own document it says they have a useless diagnostic test. Its value is a measly guess. And despite this all, the numbers still showing a nothing burger, never exponentially growing. 6,000 to 8,000 die from flu and pneumonia per year. 5,000 corona deaths since November ain't so weird. If you considered it, there's nothing to fear. Now we see what it's all about. They've increased their power beyond a doubt and taken ours, not just shut the bars. A global coup has made me blue. A national disgrace in an irrational place. God have mercy on us all. I pray for Canada not to fall. I say to all the snitches, you witches, you should be digging ditches. Explain to me why High Park is closed, please. Why not just restrict the cherry trees? If so much as one person should sneeze, they put the whole city under the squeeze. They expect us to behave like bees, taking orders from despots like these. They put the economy in deep freeze. No one with a conscience can feel at ease. God have mercy on us all. I pray for Canada not to fall. In conclusion, I wanted to say a few words on the Canadian flags which were turned upside down. This is obviously an extreme gesture. It's meant to indicate distress to the country, such as treason by our leaders. And I would agree that treason is being committed by our provincial and federal leaders. So while I wouldn't turn the flag upside down myself, I don't really have any problem with other people making that gesture. I can certainly understand why they were doing it. I think it's wrong to say that these people have no respect for Canada, because they're actually trying to use this gesture to indicate that they are seriously worried that we're already losing our Canadian traditions. We see a similar situation with the swastika, which some protester was using in one of the Michigan protests recently, and the media jumped on it and said, you see, there's Nazis in these lockdown protests, but actually, there was I think a Bernie bro infiltrator, but the actual guy with the swastika was trying to portray the governor of Michigan acting as the Nazis would have done, draconian style. And of course, we see leftists using the swastika Nazi imagery all the time in their demonstrations against the right. But if someone who's not a leftist, if they use Nazi imagery in a not in the manner of supporting it, but in portraying the person you disagree with as a Nazi, well then you're not allowed to do that. So it's a total double standard here. Now there's going to be some people saying, by turning the Canadian flag upside down, you disrespect the veterans who fought in World War II and in other wars. But are you sure about that? What would the veterans who fought in World War II really have thought about what our federal and provincial governments have done right now, taking away our basic freedoms that they thought they were fighting for? Now, just my personal thoughts on the Canadian flag itself. Of course, I believe it's important to stand up for Canada, to stand up and protect our national traditions. Personally, I don't care much for the Canadian flag. I see it as a product of the 1960s. I see it as tacky, goofy, and harmless. We should have stuck with the old flag, the Canadian Red Ensign, which was used from the 1890s up until 1965. That flag featured a solid red background, and in one corner was the Union flag, which symbolized our connection with Great Britain. And that flag itself contains the cross, several crosses within it, which symbolizes our Christian heritage. And the flag also featured a coat of arms with a fleur-de-lis, some lions, a harp, and some maple leaves as well. By eliminating all that rich and powerful imagery, the new Canadian flag was effectively emasculated. Hasta luego, amigos!